Hi, Kathy Peck here from Tea and Stamps. This is Wednesday. It's the afternoon. I very rarely record on a Wednesday afternoon, but I am today because the opportunity became available. And today I want to show you one of my favorite ways to create a watercolor wash when I'm making a card. So there are two ways that I primarily do it, and one is where you take your pad and a block, or you can squeeze ink into the top of your pad, which I don't like to do because I don't like to get extra water in here, but I just dip my block in here and then use the aqua painter, the water painter, and just color the watercolor paper. But one of my most favorite ways is using the watercolor pencils. So that's what we're going to use today. And I will show you some cards that I made using, this is a watercolor pencil wash card, and this one is a ink with the ink. And I think both backgrounds are equally beautiful. I just like to do the watercolors, and I'll show you two cards today with watercolors. Alright, the first we're going to do is create a little wash. Here's a wash I did earlier. And I'm using the Fluid 1000 watercolor paper. And you know watercolor paper is kind of bumpy, and so it's going to give you like a textured kind of look, even though you smooth it out. And the more water you put on, the better it gets. I like to spray this just a little bit ahead of time to keep it from warping. Don't need it to be too wet. Oh, let me get a paper towel. Oops, there's one. I forgot I needed a little bit of paper towel for this process. So I have two sets of watercolor pencils, the watercolor pencils and the watercolor pencils assortment 2. And on the back they have a picture of what colors are in each one. And I am going to use most of the assortment 2 colors plus Daffodil Delight, which is in the first one. And I'm just going to randomly color strips on here and then color them up or cover them up with water, and I just lay it down. The thicker you add the pencil, the darker it'll be. And this is Daffodil Delight, even though that looks yellow orange, it is. You can even add a little Cajun Craze in here if you wanted a darker yellow. I'll put some green on here. I like this. This is that grainy apple green. I need to sharpen a few of these up. But I just go crazy on here because I am by no means an expert watercolorist. I don't even know if I might have watercolored like in kindergarten or something like that when I was little, and then with my kids when they were little. Oh, I wanted to put some pink in here. Well, I'll put pink. Oh, that's my dog snoring. It's really hot outside. Today it's 103 here in Texas. No biggie. It's like, that's just how it is. We're in a drought. It's our time to have another drought. It will all pass. Okay, and then I'll maybe add some, I'll put some Pacific Point down here. Yeah, that's a nice, bright, beautiful blue. When you are adding water to this, you have to make sure you clean off your brush in between, because you don't want to transfer too much color and muck it all up and make it brown looking. So, and I like this brush, I think, for this one, because it's a little bit wider. Now there is color on here, but it's just stained. It's not real color. So I'm just gonna go down here, plop on some water, and color it away. And the more water you have, the more it's going to dissolve the ink, or not the ink, but the pigment of the watercolor pencils, and spread it around. But if you don't use a lot of water, you can get like this bumpy business here that I like. Doing that, I didn't clean that off very good. Now I've got like a pinky blue. It's important to clean your brush in between colors or you're gonna get a mess. But it's going to look like a mess, and then you're going to dry. You're going to let it dry for 20 or 30 minutes or so. Stamp it. Since you're stamping on watercolor paper, which is thick and bumpy, I suggest you use your Stamparatus, your Misty, whatever stamping tool you have, and use that. And then you can lay down as much color. Oh, this is coming out really nice. It's coming out better than that one, because I think I didn't add as much water on the other one as I did on this one. Look, and that is it. That's done. You can spread that around some more, dry that off, and pick up some of that water and spread the color. Like I said, I'm just like a kid playing. I pat it to dry it off a little bit and set that aside to dry. That is it. That just has to dry. Then you can use that as a background. You can do what I did here, stamp a large image and trim it, stamp it, back it up. You have a card. Or you can do what I did for this card, which is, this is colored with pencils, my watercolor paper. I stamped the image. This is the Scallop Contours, Colors and Contours stamp set. And I cut it out, die cut it, and then this is from the exact same piece of paper. I stamped my sentiment and die cut that with these scallop circles from the layering circles. And there it is. This is the card I made with my watercolor paper. I thought that came out pretty cool. I like that. Now there's one more technique you can do with the pencils. All that, I like that. I will be making a card with that for sure. Yes, sometimes I do make things and then nothing happens to it. I'm sure that happens with all of us. For this one, I have a little stamped image. Now I do have a card that I created with this, and I will show that in the post because it's pretty special. I like it a lot. But I stamped this image in basic gray, and this is from the Blessings from Home stamp set. And now I'm going to take my pencils and I'm just going to color the image and lightly, and then I'm going to go over it with a blender, a stamping blender, a blender pen, which is like a pointy pen that's wet. It's just wet with water. You don't have to add any water to it. It just stays that way. And you can color these. I didn't bring my one that I had already done. Nope, I sure didn't. This is garden green. There's a couple of greens. There's garden green, there's old olive, and granny apple green are the colors in the watercolor pencils. I'm just using garden green to make this go quickly. This is really, I like doing it like this. I've always enjoyed these watercolor pencils in this fashion, and with these stamps that have the extra little details, sometimes you don't have to do any extra little highlighting or whatever, which I'm not that great at, but it makes me look good. So you just add a little bit of color. Okay, and let's color the flowers. Let's see, I like yellow for these little ones. I think I'll do the big one in purple this time. I did the one I'm gonna post about, I think I did blue and pink. What blue is this? This is Night of Navy. I want the balmy blue. That's my favorite blue. Since this is a bigger one, I'm just adding a little more ink, a little more pigment color, and then the little one will do pink and put something in the center. Maybe a little more right here. So I hope everyone's having a decent summer. I mean, ours is almost over. I have one more kiddo to finish school, and she starts on 15th or 16th. I just like, whew. Okay, let's do purple. Yeah, so she'll be a senior in high school, and then she's a special ed kid. She's autistic, so she's gonna go to some life skills classes after graduating that our district provides. Hopefully they still provide it. little crushed curry in the middle, and maybe she'll work. I don't know. I have a hard time letting go of her because, you know, she's sweet and vulnerable and gullible, and, you know, there's a lot of nasty stuff going on anymore. So we got to keep an eye on our kiddos. So, all right, here we go. We're ready to color. That's it. You just color those kind of, you know, sparingly, not completely, and then you have a blending pen. These are double-ended. Both ends are the same. Both of my ends are stained, and they are slightly damp. And you just use them to spread the pigment. You see that? Here's one right here that's, look at this one right here that's not very, will come into focus yet, not very full. And it just spreads that color around. These are just fun. It's like I can color, I can scribble, and then I just take this and smooth it out. And you must wipe off the end. See, it's going to pick up a little bit of color, just a little bit, but just to be safe, rub it on a paper towel or on your grid paper to clean it off in between before you switch colors. So I would just do one color at a time. Really and truly, that's what you need to do. And so, yeah, so I'm going to be making 2 blog posts with this same video that will feature both cards. Both cards were fun. I'm just not showing this card with this one because I did a little bit more to it, and so very busy. But the technique is this. It's just coloring like this. You can get blender pens from my store through Stampin Up. Or if you prefer to shop local, you can go to Michael's, or maybe Hobby Lobby has them. I'm not sure. Okay, but I encourage you to try this. It'd be something fun to do with your kids. If you need watercolor pencils, Stampin' Up has them. They'll be listed in my blog post. There'll be a list of materials that I used for these cards. Oh, there's Emma. That's my big dog. She's snoring. It's hot, so she's sleeping. They all sleep when it's hot. Although she does like to run around outside in the heat and have you throw her a ball. I don't know how she does it. I'd be passed out. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, that looks good. And then, like I said, I am by no means a professional watercolorist at all. I am not. I always struggle with coloring, especially with the blends and the markers. I find these are a little bit more forgiving, easy to use. All right, now let's get these yellow ones done. Well, I like the intensity of this Daffodil Delight. That's good. That's a good color. A little pop of the yellow with the Cajun Craze in the center. Yes, I encourage everyone to try watercolor pencils. They're fun. It's a nice way to relax and color. And if you think you need more color, don't hesitate to just get in there and just scribble on a little more. And then grab your blender and spread it. That is that. That's done. All that needs is a sentiment and a card base, and it's done. So the tools are blender pens, water painters, all available from my Stampin' Up store, or you can get them local, whatever you like. And then here's my one little card, and this one you'll have to come back and see that one. It'll be in a post up tomorrow. Alrighty. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my YouTube videos. If you want to subscribe to my blog, and you'll get notification on my post in your email, there's a box on my blog not far from my photo where you can subscribe. Alrighty, and if you do subscribe to my blog, you need to verify your subscription through your email. FeedBlitz will send you a little verification. So thanks. Have a great day. Stay cool. If you're up north where it's raining a lot, stay dry. And we'll see you again later. Bye.